cop ignored the poor girl's missing father until she showed him her sketchbook. The police station was buzzing with noise phones ringing, officers shouting, radios crackling, but none of it mattered to 9-year-old Leela as she stood, alone at the front desk, clutching a sketchbook against her chest. "My daddy's missing," she said softly. The cop barely looked up, dismissing her like yesterday's news. That wasn't till she opened her book. What was inside would expose a secret no one in that town saw coming up. Truth that would shake the department to its core. Before we dive in, please support us by subscribe, like and share for more with activating the notification bell. Thank you. It was the start of summer vacation in the small town of Elridge Falls, a quiet community tucked between hills and rivers where everyone claimed to look out for each other. But that morning 9-year-old Leela Monroe felt completely alone. She walked into the Elridge Police Department wearing worn sneakers, an oversized hoodie, and the expression of someone far older than her age. Her brown curls were unbrushed, her eyes tired. She stood at the front desk, barely tall enough to peek over it. "My daddy's missing," she said, holding her sketchbook like a shield. Sergeant Mark Riggs, a gruff officer known for brushing off what he called neighborhood nonsense, didn't even glance up from his paperwork. "Sweetheart, maybe he's just at a friend's house. Men disappear for a night all the time. Happens." Leela swallowed her fear. "He didn't take his wallet, or his keys, or his phone, and his truck is still outside." Riggs sighed and leaned forward. "Did you check the local diner, or maybe the garage? He never leaves without telling me, ever." "Well, maybe he just needed some time alone," Riggs muttered, grabbing a donut from a nearby box. "Come back if he's still gone tomorrow." With those words, she was dismissed. No notes, no report filed. Lila turned slowly, walking out into the sweltering morning heat. She sat on the courthouse steps and opened her sketchbook, flipping through the recent pages. It wasn't just for doodles. Her father had always told her to draw what she saw. She had drawn the strange man outside their house, the black van, with rusted wheels, and her father's last smile before he disappeared. She started sketching again, but this time her hands shook. If the police wouldn't help, maybe her drawings would. Her elderly neighbor, Miss D, walked by on her morning grocery run and noticed Leela sitting alone. The old woman had known Henry Monroe since he was a teenager and had a soft spot for his daughter. "Where's your daddy, baby?" she asked. Leela looked up, eyes wet. "He's gone. No one believes me." Miss D sat down beside her and Lila flipped through the sketchbook again. Each page revealed startling details, license plates, symbols, faces, even timestamps sketched like clock hands in the corner of each drawing. Miss D's eyes froze on one specific page. "Wait, this number, this is a license plate." Lila nodded. "I remembered it. I saw it 2 days ago. Daddy said if anything happened to him, I should draw it." Miss D didn't waste another minute. She marched Leela right back to the station and stormed up to the front desk. "Sergeant Riggs, you better wipe that smug look off your face and listen to this child before I call the mayor myself." Riggs scowled. "It's not protocol to let me see that sketchbook," a calm voice interrupted. Captain Julia Romero, head of the precinct and known for her fairness, stepped forward. She knelt to Lila's height and asked gently, "Can you show me what you drew?" One by one, Lila flipped the pages. The captain's expression changed from neutral to stunned. The drawings were alarmingly detailed, almost like professional forensic sketches. Angles of the van, a glove with a strange logo, a warehouse in the background. "This isn't kid stuff," Romero muttered. She took the sketchbook to Detective James Carter, a well-respected officer known for cracking difficult cases. Within minutes he ran the plate number and got a hit, a van reported stolen from the next county over. That's when everything changed. Suddenly, officers were on their feet, phone lines were lit, and the department began treating the case seriously. What Sergeant Riggs had dismissed as childish worry had turned into a potential abduction case, and it all began with a sketchbook. Detective Carter didn't waste time. He arranged for Leela and Miss D to accompany him on a drive around the town, starting with places depicted in the drawings. As they reached the abandoned junkyard, Lila pointed. "That's where I saw the van." The area was cordoned off, but inside they found old tire tracks fresh. One of the back tires had a unique tear pattern, matching a drawing Lila had done in blue crayon. "She's got an eye for detail," Carter said, impressed. From the junkyard they moved to an old storage facility near the docks. This building appeared in 3 of Leela's sketches, always with a black hand-read logo on trucks parked outside. Carter connected that logo to a logistics company owned by William Traverser, wealthy businessman with shady political ties. The company had been investigated once for trafficking violations, but the case was buried quietly. Lila's sketches connected the dots others had missed. Inside one sketch, a brown-coated man appeared in the background several times. Carter identified him as Simon Draper, a former employee of Travis who had died mysteriously a month earlier in a freak accident involving electrical wires. The timeline fit too perfectly. At Henry Monroe's garage, more questions emerged. A fellow mechanic admitted Henry had recently confronted someone about a shipment of crates that didn't match the manifest. The next day, he vanished. Carter's instincts screamed foul play. Someone wanted him silent. Meanwhile, Leela sketched a new memory, her father being led into a warehouse by two men at night. Though she never saw inside, her drawing included a distinct scar on one man's face. That scar matched the mugshot of a known enforcer for Travis. Things weren't just suspicious anymore, they were criminal. Carter launched a sting operation. Using Leela's sketches as reference points, they set up motion-triggered surveillance near the facility she had drawn. On the third night, just after midnight, a familiar van pulled into the lot. Two men got out and wheeled in a covered cart. Within minutes, the warehouse was surrounded. SWAT moved inside. What they found was shocking. Boxes filled with stolen goods, illegal firearms, forged IDs, and disturbing evidence of human trafficking operations. But the true breakthrough came when they broke into a locked inner room. There, in a filthy cot, was Henry Monroe alive, but bruised and weak. "Lila," he whispered, "did she find me?" Tears streamed down Carter's face. She never stopped. Henry had been held for days after he tried to report the illegal shipment. He was threatened, gagged, and beaten. He had overheard them talk about waiting until it cooled down before moving him out of town permanently. But Lila had stopped that clock. Two suspects were arrested on sight. Travis, however, had fled, likely tipped off. A national manhunt began meanwhile. The police department was flooded with praise for Leela's role in the case. She had done what trained adults couldn't because she had paid attention. Even more shocking, when pressed under questioning, one of the men confessed, "We were watching her house too. If she kept asking questions, she was next." The room went cold. Thanks to her sketchbook. She had saved not just her father but possibly herself. Henry was taken to the hospital for treatment and reunited with Lila the next morning. The image of her running down the hall into his arms was broadcast across the country. He kissed her forehead and held her tight. "I knew you'd come for me." Her sketchbook became national news. TV crews, reporters, and non-profit organizations all wanted to meet the girl who drew the truth. Scholarships poured in, offers for children's books, even a movie deal. But Lila didn't care about fame. She gave a single interview where she said simply, "I just did what Daddy taught me. Pay attention." Captain Romero launched a new initiative within the department. Sketch Systematic Kids Evidence Collection Hub, a program encouraging children to report what they see through art, writing, or voice notes. Schools in the county adopted it. Within months. As for Sergeant Riggs, he quietly resigned. The public backlash was too much, and rightfully so. Leela donated her sketchbook to the town museum. It now rests in a glass case, labeled proof that one girl can make a difference. Detective Carter stayed in her life, visiting on weekends and bringing her new art supplies, and Miss D became like a grandmother, helping raise her while Henry recovered. 1 year later, on the courthouse wall near the oak tree where Leela once sat crying, a mural was unveiled. It showed a little girl holding up a sketchbook, surrounded by colors bursting into the air like fireworks, and underneath it read, "Never ignore a small voice. It might be the loudest truth."